Hey everybody, this is Mysteryfilmfan, and welcome to another review. I'm going to tackle a film that came out in the late 70s, but I think it's still as strange and weird and chilling as it was when it was originally made. And that's David Lynch's feature film debut, which was Eraserhead. Now, for those of you who haven't seen Eraserhead, and there may be some of you who haven't, I'm going to try and sum it up as best as I can. Eraserhead follows this guy who's called Henry, who is involved with this woman and she gets pregnant. Now that's as far as I'm willing to go, because the rest of it is what happens after she gets pregnant. You know, what follows after that. I mean, it is one of the strangest and disconcerting films you'll ever see. The way that I would describe it, it's the closest thing to a living nightmare I've ever seen, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Anyway, I'm going to show a scene from the film. I'm going to show a couple of scenes from the film actually during this review, but I just want to get this out of the way because this is one of the earlier scenes from a dinner scene, and this is the sort of thing that you're going to experience when you experience the film.
You'll be alright in a minute.
Yep, and it doesn't get any less strange with the more you go into it. Actually, as I said, it gets even stranger and weirder as it goes on. Now, what's good about that scene is that it poses that you're really in for a shocker here. Now, I understand that some people are going to get exercised about this because, again, there's people who respect David Lynch and understand that his style, shall we say, is unconventional, shall we say. He likes split time structures. He likes to blur the line between dream and reality. As I said, I think Eraserhead is and still remains today one of the most. As I said, I've always just seen it. So again, most of the stuff that I saw was just like stuff that makes a lot of sense now. You know, I've seen Lost Highway. I've seen, Inland Empire, which is about called Inland Revenue, but I won't. Now, I think that the guy who's the main character, Jack Nance, who's no longer with us, is a really, really good character because a lot of it is dependent on him and the way he interacts with people around him. His girlfriend, her mother, his neighbour. All this and it is dependent on his performance. Now, there are a couple of things. There is one main thing that you'll have to look out for, because one of the things you'll take away from you for a long time is the screams of this mutant child. Now, again, this is getting into spoilers territory. I'll write spoilers in time, so if you don't want to hear about them, turn your ears away down. But there is this mutant child whose screams, I swear, are the things you'll take to bed with you. I've had a couple of nightmares where that child's screams have featured very prominently. I can say thank you very much, David Lynch, for those nightmares. Anyway, here you go. I'm going to have a scene from a nightmare. This is basically from a nightmare that this guy's having, and I swear it is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. and that's basically how it continues. This baby screams, carry on. Now, there is a great bit where this woman with hamster cheeks dances in his... Basically, if you know anything about David Lynch, he likes plumbing. He likes the idea of plumbing, he likes the idea of, basically, of radiators, of taps, of, water, of blood. Basically, he likes all that stuff. So this woman who sings lives in his radiator. I swear I'm not making this up. But there's one great bit where she sings this song, which is haunting. I'm going to play it now, but I swear you won't be able to get this song out of your head for the next week, at least. So here you go. Here's a song you won't be able to get out of your head for the next week. Now, in summary, this film is extraordinary in every sort of sense because nobody knows what it's about. Now, there have been a couple of people, and I'm one of them, who think it's about David Lynch becoming a father. Now, for those who don't know, his daughter was born, I think it was just prior or during the making of Eraserhead. And she's basically said, because she's a filmmaker as well, that she thinks her birth led to the calf baby and its mutant screams because David Lynch never wanted to become a father or a husband, but he found himself, unfortunately tied into that role, and she thinks it's about his, his fears about father and the fact that fatherhood can lead you into bad places, and this is basically what people think the film's about. I mean, I agree with that reading of the film, but I definitely recommend this. It does look weird. I mean, as I said, that I've played the strangest parts of it, but it is scary, and I do think that it is worth your time watching. But it's worth watching even if you're not a David Lynch fan. But if you're just a horror film fan, it's worth watching because there are some bits that are strange and weird that do work. I mean, as I said, the dream sequences are terrifying. The bits where you have the baby screaming and stuff like that will live with you for quite some time. But also the other good bit about it is that it's full of industrial noise. Now, as you know, David Lynch likes industrial sound. He likes the idea of industrial noise. But however, I would recommend for those who are familiar with Lynch's, should we say, more known work, like, I mean, if you've seen Wild at Heart, or if you've seen, I'm trying to think of another one, if you've seen Dune, or you've seen The Elephant Man, it's not like that. This is totally different. This is him being him without anybody on his hand said, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do this. This is him with his full maniac voice on. Now, David Lynch has said that people don't understand the film. Well, I think, David, they do. Because they've watched it, I've watched it, and I think I understand it. Now, I'd like to know what you think of it, Eraserhead. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, does it look like something you'd be interested in? And I know that other people saying, that does look weird. Well, that's the thing, maybe that'll appeal to you. Anyway, this has been Mysteryfilmfan. See you, sign off for another week.